FOS live from Radio Row at the Super Bowl. I'm Dan Roberts, and we've got Jameis Winston and Danny Cortenraede of InStudio Ventures. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Jameis, let's start this way. I feel like you are now one of us. I mean, you're a player, but here at Radio Row and all week, you are a member of the media. Talk to me about being a correspondent for Fox Digital. We're seeing you everywhere.
Well, I've been so grateful to be able to just show what the great city of New Orleans has to offer, and to just create some energy and excitement from players, from locals, from tapping shoes, from taxi bikes. Like, all of that is what encompasses this great gumbo city. So I'm just throwing a little something here and a little something there and just making it come to be a delicious meal.
It feels like you are getting a tryout, a taste of being a broadcaster. And what's funny is, we talked to Greg Olson yesterday. Obviously, Eli Manning walked by. Brady's calling the game. You've got all these former players who call games. Is this just the obvious next step for you after football, and being a digital correspondent lets you kind of ease in?
I'm just taking every day, one day at a time, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I don't have a contingency plan right now. If this is an opportunity that comes up, or I'm awarded this opportunity, you better believe I'm gonna put all the preparation that's required for me to be the best at this. But right now, my focal point is being the best at quarterback right now.
What are you doing with ISV and your friend Danny? Tell me about the business.
So we're running an investment firm focusing on sports, media, and tech. So we make investments specifically in this niche. So we stay in a lane, and we're working a lot with athletes, with soccer players, NFL and NBA, like Jameis. But it's a special relationship, I would say. It's Jameis, for example, and he can tell better himself about it, how he's involved. But to give a concrete example, we invested in the boardroom company from Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman, for example. That is a company where we invested in. But maybe Jameis can tap onto how that relationship.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about relationships is commitment, trust, and accountability. And one thing that Danny has taught me throughout this process is like, hey, you have to be committed to actually looking at deals, studying deals, and being prepared. You have to be accountable, because I'm going to send you this deal, and then I can only walk you through the deal if you have already studied the process. And I think one thing that we have developed is a true friendship because of just our trust together. Us actually being able to connect our families, break bread together, not just looking over deals and seeing how we can make the most money, but keeping it strategic to, man, what sports are we trying to look at? Who are we trying to elevate? Is it women's sports? Are we looking for gigs to elevate women's sports by partnering with the WNBA and doing events for them? Is it youth sports? Are we partnering with youth jersey brands to make sure that youth empowerment, so we are providing uniforms and supplies for all of our youth athletes? These are things that all hit home with me because I was a youth football player. My wife was a hooper at Rice, so I want to elevate women's sports, and just to see the Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reeses, to see the Asia Wilsons really dominating the game right now in terms of their story and the curiosity that they are in our women's athletes.
What do you think it is right now about media, Jameis, that's so exciting? We talked about broadcasting, but it's also just more and more athletes investing in Hollywood, in TV and film projects, sports docuseries, new social media platforms. Like, what excites you in this area especially?
I think one of the most exciting things is the people that kind of form that for us. And I have to give the credit to LeBron James, man. LeBron James is the epitome for, like, him showing athletes, like, hey, like, they started a More Than an Athlete campaign, but him showing athletes, like, hey, you can create your own digital platform. You can own your own content. You can partner with executives like Danny and actually learn from them, not just say, like, hey, talk to my guy Danny on this, or talk to my friend Fred on this, but actually learn the business and apply the knowledge that you're learning to everything that you have.
I keep asking about media, but you said you're focused on being a quarterback. On night one here inside the stadium at media night, you made a big splash asking Saquon Barkley, what team should I go to as a free agent? He said the Giants. We were right behind you, filming you asking that question. Last night at NFL Honors, everyone wanted to talk to you. I mean, in seriousness, where would you want to play next?
I would want to play wherever a team that wants me. You know what I'm saying? And I can play for all 32 because I know that I'm one of the best 32 quarterbacks in this entire world. So I know no one can take that away from me. But I just want to play. I want to be in an organization that wants to win, that is willing to embrace who I am and set me up for the best success and develop trust, commitment, and accountability with me as well.
There's a lot of guys, whether it's Saquon going from the Giants to the Eagles, Baker Mayfield, who they started out with one team and maybe it didn't work out so well, ended up moving around and then find success somewhere else. Even Tannehill in Tennessee, right? So talk to me a little bit about how your career in the NFL has progressed from team to team.
Well, obviously, when I left Tampa, it was devastating because I had such a great year, but I also had such a year that was prone with mistakes, right? So, in having Tom Brady come in and instantly win a Super Bowl, I knew we were transitioning to that. So that opened up my eyes, and the year that I had with Drew Brees and Sean Payton really just propelled my career into understanding how to win football games and how to play the quarterback position the right way. I had an amazing year with Sean Payton. Unfortunately, I got hurt. So now I'm in that rebuilding process of taking any opportunity that's given and making the most of it. Last year, I created some excitement, but I started to fizzle out at the end. So now I'm about instilling trust into these owners, into these front office executives, that I can do it, that they can trust me, that I can lead their team to victory and ultimately have a day like this while I'm not talking with you guys and I'm not interviewing people, but I'm actually playing in the Super Bowl.
I just got a couple more for you. I just met your grandfather
Yes.
walking behind you in an FSU hat.
Yeah.
Again, I want to ask you about college football right now,
Right.
and the NIL mania and the numbers you're seeing about quarterbacks and what they're getting to go into the transfer portal, not to mention conference realignment. Who knows if FSU will be in the ACC in a couple of years. What do you make of everything when you look at the college landscape right now?
Well, I try to find a seeded good in everything. Obviously, I'm disappointed that the NCAA could not find a way to have NIL back when I was playing, because we would have made a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about the opportunity that it awards the players, but I do kind of miss just the growth and development of seeing these dynasties prepared. Like I don't think that we'll ever see college football dynasties anymore, because it's about who can spend more. Now I do think it is allowing the quarterback position to get more prepared for the NFL, as we see with Bo Nix, Jay Daniels, and Joe Burrow. They're actually, and Michael Penix, they're able to come into the league at 24, 25 years old with elite experience, being in different conferences, facing different defenses, and playing a lot of football to allow them to have great careers in the NFL.
Let's end on this. A big through line all week that we've asked players and executives about, news that the NFL wants to add an 18th game. And back in 2020, they went to 17, and people had a lot of complaints about that. And now it's normal. It's 17 and 3 preseason games. Sounds like maybe they would go to 18 and 2 preseason games. Talk to us about expanding the regular season on behalf of the players.
Yeah, well, I'm a big component of, I do whatever's required. And I think the NFL has always done a good job of making sure that we put on the best events in the world. So I know that they're going to come up with a good plan. They're going to start with safety, right? They're going to find a way to keep us safe. They probably eliminate another preseason game. But, man, as long as I'm in this league, I'm going to respect the shield. And whatever they have built up, that we got a lot of people in high places that are getting paid to do their job, and so I'm gonna trust them to do their job no matter what decisions that they make. I just focus on that when it comes.
Who you got in the game?
It's the best of both worlds for me, man. This is victorious to me, but I'm just happy that we're able to get on this market and show these athletes that it's about the consistency and the responsibility and accountability of building relationships with these executive partners that you have, and not just jumping into things blindfolded and just saying, I just like the sound of that, but actually getting immersed and getting and being responsible for what you're studying, what you're learning, and how you're going to grow with it. So I'm so appreciative of Danny and his intentionality of helping me along the ropes, and not just telling me what's going to happen, but allowing me to be involved in what's happening.
Really important for young athletes. I didn't hear a prediction in there for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I said it's the best of both worlds for me.
Jameis and Danny, thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
We'll be back with a lot more soon from Radio Row.